just say like hello fellow students. I'll just say that. All right, hello fellow.
Hello.
Okay. Hello.
Don't put that in there.
That's gonna be in there.
That's it. That's it? Yep, that's the intro.
Hello fellow students. My name's Connor. This is my YouTube channel. This is Sydney.
Hello.
She's one of the smartest people I know. She's in the Honors College here at Boise, and she's got her together. She is going to help me explain to you guys how to study at really any level. You know, middle school, maybe not, but high school and college. What got me through high school and what's currently helping me hopefully get through college. I have an economics test tomorrow. So
What's your major?
My major is currently media arts with an emphasis in television and video production, which I changed 4 days ago. So
I changed mine this morning.
what did you change it to?
Respiratory care therapy, pre-physician assistant track.
Is that a thing here?
Mhm.
I didn't know that.
They're like
So you
one of the top
lied to all of
programs.
the people in that one video. Okay, so first, for me, the first thing about studying is like, what are you gonna study with? What are you gonna study on? In college mostly, and maybe high school, you have really two choices between computer or paper. For me, I'm a really big paper guy, and so once you get to paper, you gotta narrow down, you know, wide ruled or college ruled. We're in college, so college ruled is generally accepted, and if you use wide ruled and you're in college, you're kind of lame. And then it comes down to pen or pencil. I'm a big pen guy. I love a good Pilot G2 pen. Huge fan of different colors, not just like black and blue, but like I use like teal and like pink and stuff like that, just because I think it's unique. But there are tons of other people who do a bunch of other things. You know, use their computer, they use Google Notes, or Google Docs, I guess.
Don't use anything at all.
Yes, and we don't know how they're here. And then so Sydney here does stuff a little bit different. I kind of write down my notes as like Cornell notes, if you know what that is. I'll show you it right here. It's basically just like dashes of different like bullet points and different topics that I need to remember. Sydney does it differently. Sydney, what do you do?
I do more of a mind mapping style. I think that including a lot of colors and even tapes and stickers and a lot of visualization is important for me, and condensing it onto a piece of paper and just studying that. Sometimes I spend like hours at a time just working on like a piece of paper, but I can remember that in my brain. I can remember the colors and the pictures and just kind of remember it.
So organization wise, for me, I would say I'm somewhat organized. I have a planner. I don't use it a ton. I generally use the planner for if I have homework or certain kind of, I guess, events, but more school related, not so much just life in general. And so, but a big thing for me, especially since I write on paper, is I always got to write down the title of what I'm like taking notes on, and then also the my name and the date to kind of keep it chronologically like organized, just for my sake. Sydney, you use a planner.
I do. I have like kind of a small size planner. I think I got this one at Target for literally like $10. But I like to map everything out, not only in a monthly view, just so that I can see everything at a glimpse, but then I also do a weekly view. I think having both, the monthly view, just to see like events and kind of like the big picture is really nice, but then the weekly view, I can make lists of homework and kind of visualize my day at a glance.
Yeah. All right, that makes total sense, and you know, either way works. I mean, she's definitely more on top of it, more organized.
Some
but
people do like Google on their phone.
yeah, some use like the calendar apps and stuff like that. My mom's a big proponent of that. The next thing down is like the important things within the notes that I make sure to keep track of is vocab. Especially in textbooks, you'll find that there are like highlighted vocab sheets, or even if like in PowerPoints during lectures, they make an emphasis on certain words. I would write those down and then eventually go back, and what I use is Quizlet. Quizlet saved my life in high school for memorization. They have a lot of cool different options. I think one of them is Learn. You can like press the Learn button and it like has you go through and it like shows you the percentage of like what you know the first time and the second time and the third time. And I would do that like 3 or 4 times before a test.
Repetition is really important.
Absolutely. And then another thing is like drawing important images and diagrams. So for me, for my microeconomics exam that I have tomorrow, there are a couple diagrams that depict cash flow within certain areas of microeconomics, and so I would depict.
It's so boring.
It is really boring. Yeah, no, it's not very fun. But I would depict like different diagrams, different pictures of like what it looks like and how it works, and that way I kind of understand, since I'm drawing it, what it has to be like. So, and then for you, I mean, you basically just draw a little bit of everything.
Yeah, you know, I try to make it very obvious, titles versus subtitles versus vocab versus, you know, everything else. But especially during class, if your professor says something more than once, it's probably important.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes a professor brings something up multiple times, and I think that in that case you need to make note of it and make sure that you know, you are proficient in that, because it's probably going to be something that you're going to be tested on.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. And the final thing for me is like when you're reading textbooks and writing notes on those, I'm a big fan of, I'm a true believer that you don't have to read like word for word all of it, because that takes a lot of time, especially when you get to college, when you have chapters or like whole books that are due over weekends. You have to be able to kind of skim it and understand within the first 1 or 2 attempts of reading it what's going on. Otherwise, you're going to be too slow. So I'm a big fan of skimming it and kind of getting the basis knowledge down per paragraph, and then writing 1 to 2 bullet points on that. But do you have any other way that you do things?
I think one of my key testing strategies is to make your own test and to write a review, write a study guide based on the material that you're going to be tested on, and take your own test over and over again until, you know, and make it fun. Have someone grade it for you, you know.
Do you do that?
Yeah.
Who grades your test?
Luke.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, literally make your own test and take it until you remember that note cards are your friend. I took medical terminology last semester, and I had probably 25 of these little bundles. I think that having something tangible that you can just, you know, Quizlet is great too, but I just like the note card aspect, and I think that writing something down is another way of studying. So for me, making my note cards is a form of studying along with actually practicing them.
Yeah, and I think that brings up a good point of like, there are different ways of doing this. Like there isn't like one set like study way or like way to gain information. Everyone's different. I'm a very big audio-visual learner, so I will watch like YouTube videos to review. Big fan of the crash course videos. If you don't know who they are, I'll leave a link down in the description of the crash course guys. They're really successful and smart, and they've got their shit together as well. But like there are different ways. Like Sydney's a big fan of like tangible objects and like note cards. I'm a big fan of like Quizlet and digital and online, just because it's easier for me. But that doesn't mean that one way is better than the other. It just means that different people interpret it in different ways. So
Time management too.
Huge factor.
I think that you will have so much more motivation to study if you've got time.
100%. And almost on the flip side of that though, like don't run yourself into the ground. Like you can't try to cram everything the night before or the day of. And so make sure you take time to relax and get away from the schoolwork, and make sure that you mentally are okay and healthy and prepared to take this test, and then
Don't pull an all-nighter.
do not do that.
I may have a big workload, but never. If you don't know everything by like 11 o'clock at night, you're not going to know it.
Yeah.
Just accept it and go to bed.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So thank you so much, Sydney, for being a part of this video. I really appreciate it, and
Hope it helps.
I hope it helps.
Enjoy pictures of my things.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you guys so much. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe down below. I don't know what you just did, but yeah. But thank you. See you guys tomorrow.